What is up? What is up? What is up? Madden Elite. It's your boy Bread630 with Breaking Bread Episode 3. Let's get it. I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of fingers to count the number of Breaking Bread episodes, but I'm going to be creative about it. Follow me for the journey. Alright, I'm going to break you guys down the players of the week for week 4. We are currently in week 6 of Madden Elite. We got, we're rolling pretty tough, man. All the games are being played. Everything's being put on the schedule. We got a couple hiccups here and there. The stuff we're going to talk about later on in this episode, and then we'll get all that ironed out. But man, I want to say to all the guys in Madden Elite, man, I appreciate you all. You guys are doing your thing. We're getting stuff done. So let's just keep moving every other day. Games are really advancing early, and I appreciate you all for that. So wouldn't be where we are without you all, and let's keep that going. But for the NFC, we got JMac. We got JMac. He had Saquon Barkley. He ended up getting 168 on the ground, adding 4 rushing touchdowns, 101 receiving yards, and then 1 receiving touchdown. The receiving yards I seen came, half of them came on a big play. It was like a wheel route, and the other half came on that red zone scissor play. Man, he runs that shit. Who doesn't run that? Like sniffs with their nose and got whiskers and shit. Like, oh, cheesy people who don't run that. But that he had a hell of a game. Saquon Barkley broke out that game, man. 5 total touchdowns, 160 on the ground, 101 yards catching. He was everywhere. I don't understand if he was trying to like dev him up or something because he's already X Factor. But either way, man, he had a hell of a game. His spin moves are crazy too. So speaking of crazy spin moves, show with Malik Hooker. Man, he's the spin king, man. He got so many highlights with those spins. I just seen one today with Amari Cooper. Jeez, boy, the blender. But he had 4 picks. Hard to get 4 picks in the season with a DB, but he had 4 picks in this game. Malik Hooker was in position everywhere he went. It looked like he was playmaker in him to go into that deep quarter blue, and he was right in the middle picking off seams and vert routes all day. So he also had a touchdown with 2 tackles for that to get NFC Player of the Week. Moving on to Canu. He ran the ball. Everybody knows Canu passes. He's a pass-heavy guy, but he was running the ball. He brought in Tom Brady, and he was using Nyheim Hines. 20 carries for 169. He also had a touchdown for that. Then, I think it's just impressive that he ran the ball 20 times, man. You don't see Canu run that much. So kudos to you on that one. And then we got Chris Harris Jr. from the Chargers, owned by Estrada. He had a sack, an interception, a forced fumble recovery, defensive touchdown, and 4 tackles to add on top of that. Yeah, he's up there in age, man, but he has all the cover skills, and he still has 89 speed. So I'm rocking with him if I'm the Chargers. Even though he's normal dev, man, I'm still rocking with him because he can ball. So we're going to get on to the players of the week for week 5. Here we go. All right. So we got players of the week for week 5. We got Trey Lance, man. He had over 400 yards passing with 5 touchdowns and a couple yards rushing, 23 yards rushing. But man, that's a hell of a game. You could put up 400 yards passing. You know, that's one of the highest coaching goals in the thing. It's like pass for 350. So putting up 400 plus, man, that's a good day. Trey Lance and kicking ass. That's by OC. He's the owner of the 49ers. So he was eagle eye fucking view on top of the field. His players look like chess from outer space and shit. That's how small they are when you watch his camera view, man. That stream makes me sick to watch, not even gonna lie. Alex Brown from the NFC, man. Defensive Player of the Week. I'm tired of seeing the Cowboys get all these damn awards, man, but show does his thing. Alex Brown had 2 touchdowns on 2 picks, so we're just giving him XP. Everybody's giving that man XP to make a good player better. But what can you do, man? Show ears was showing out once again for week 5. Then in AFC, we got Lamar Jackson. The ball touched the ground 2 times on 2 incompletions. He was sacked twice, man, but he also added 8 carries for 38 yards. Zell is using Lamar how you should use Lamar. He runs with him, but he doesn't do it so that you're trying to contain every play. He does it so that he can pass effectively, and effectively he did pass for 4 touchdowns. I was watching this game. He had a couple, actually I know for a fact he hit 2 of those post routes, deep post routes to Hollywood Brown, and then I did end up running that this last week, and he said I stole his play, but hey, that was slick. It splits that cover 4, so if people are running that cover 4 crazy, go ahead and hit him with that inside deep post, man. A little tip from Brad, looking out for you all. Then we had Terrence Mitchell, ex-Chief, so I really don't want to talk about him too much, but he had 2 picks for 6 tackles. But yeah, hey, that's by Rich, man. Rich has been doing his thing, so he's been balling out. He's not really known so far. He's a newer guy to the league, but he's not really known as a defensive guy. But his offense is what stands out, and it's kind of cool to be able to announce that he got Player of the Week for Week 5 for defense. So that's good, man. Keep up the good work. We're gonna move into our next segment. So for the Sweaty Palms game of the week, we had the Los Angeles Chargers, represented by Estrada, facing off against the Cleveland Browns, represented by South. This game was back and forth the entire time. South ended up going into half with a 17-14 lead. Estrada answered and made it 21-17. South then went down and scored in the fourth quarter. That made it 24-21. And as you guys can see by the stat line, it was there the whole time. What it looked like: Estrada had 17 first downs, South had 14. South had 230 some yards passing. Estrada had 210. Estrada won the running game, and then the overall offensive yards gained, and then the turnover battle was 2-1. In reality, the turnover battle was 1-1, and the reason I say it was 1-1 is because that last drive, Estrada was marching down the field, marching. He had time on his side, he had timeouts, and it came down to if you wanted to go for the tie on fourth down. I think it was like on the 13-yard line, if you wanted to go for the tie or if you wanted to go for the win. He decided to go for the win. He needed 4 yards for the first down. So Herbert had rolled out to the right. South had a contain on. It was Clowney. Yeah, it was Clowney that came up, ended up causing a little pressure. Estrada went for the throw, threw it right to South's defender, and that was what the second turnover was for Estrada, which ended up losing him the game. Had he taken it to overtime, I think that he chose not to, just because he wasn't feeling how confident his defense was. Although the drive before to get the ball, he had given it up a touchdown. He was doing pretty well the third quarter. So the second half, he held show down until that last drive right before he got the ball back to go down for the potential game tying or game winning. That is something, if you haven't checked out, it's on Estrada stream, man. That's a good game. You can learn a lot of patience from that game and a good defensive battle, as Estrada does all the time. South also has really good defense, underrated. So don't let anybody fool you. He's underrated. I talk crap about him all the time, but he has underrated defense. And that was your Sweaty Palms game of the week. Merc alert. Calling all help to New York City. The Giants need it. They need it. Help me. All right, JMac got his ass whooped, man. It was 60-25. This game wasn't close at any point of the game besides the first kickoff. This is all due to JMac trying to dev up Danny Dimes. He ended up throwing so many picks. Of the 7 picks, as we talked about, the defensive player of the week in week 4, which this game happened in week 4, was Malik Hooker. He ended up having 4 interceptions and a touchdown. That was all due to Danny Dimes trying to dime out. Saquon, like I said, had those red zone scissors and then the wheel route. And then that was pretty much it, man. He had a couple rushing touchdowns too. He also got player of the week, but at what expense? He's already X Factor. So as you guys will see, a common theme, man, is when you're losing big, yeah, you get a little XP or whatever, but man, if you want to keep a little dignity and stay off the show, run the ball a little bit. You don't got to chew clock or anything, but run the ball, man. Keep it respectable, and try not to turn the ball over fucking 5, 6, 7 times, and then it's not gonna get out of hand like this. It's a classic example. Show didn't even have that many offensive yards. Obviously, he had offensive scores, but he did have defensive scores too. I was watching this game pretty pretty much the entire time. I flip through games because it seems like a lot of games go on at the same time, so I'll flip through games here and there. But I was watching this game pretty much the entire time, and it was just JMac trying to throw the ball and throw bombs and throw these little dots. And which he did have a couple dots. I mean, because he's a good player, you're going to have some dots, but at what expense? He plays show 2 times a year, every year, and then possibly in the playoffs if they both end up making it. So what's the point of trying to give out all your top plays, especially in a blowout? Just doesn't make much sense. But stay tuned. We got another Merc alert for you for week 5. Oh yeah, I told you we're coming back to you. This is the second Merc alert. This one happened in week 5. We had Emmett representing the Dolphins and Canoe representing the Colts. This one, I did watch the beginning of it, and then I turned it off to watch another game. I hit it back on, and it was already like 40-6. So I was like, okay, I'm done watching. I didn't watch the end. This is the game, as I've talked about, for the week 5 Offensive Player of the Week with Canoe. His running back, he ended up running the ball a lot in this game, getting the 186 or 169, whatever he ended up having on the ground, and then finishing off the game the right way. As we see, the common theme for 60-point games is turnovers. Emmett had 8 turnovers. That's a lot of times turn the ball over and expect to win the game. The first half was really, it wasn't too crazy. Emmett gave up a lot of sacks, gave up a lot of pressures. He ended up using 2 quarterbacks. He used Brissett and Tua. Both of them were throwing picks. I think Brissett had 2 picks. Tua had 6 picks. So all of his 8 turnovers came from throwing the ball crazy, man. And like I said, it's a common theme. If you want to stay off Merc alert, don't throw the ball crazy when you're down big in the game is over. Run the ball, man. Put a little bit of respect on it and keep the games respectable. But that's me saying that. I've been in games where I've been getting my butt kicked and I end up wanting to throw it out, air it out. But at the end of the day, man, to let somebody put 6 points on you, hang them up on you, that's kind of tough to do. I don't want to sit through that. So I'm going to run the ball and kill that clock if somebody's up that big on me. But like common theme, like I'm saying, man, it looks like Emmett had only 9 offensive first downs. So he wasn't moving the ball that well. He only put up 12 points throughout the entire game. He's learning to play with the Dolphins. He definitely is looking for a new quarterback. Doesn't like how Tua plays, and that seems like a common theme around CFM. I know other players that play with the Dolphins and other CFMs, they're not a big fan of Tua. Maybe it's because he's left-handed. Maybe because his accuracy is really low, but they don't like how he plays. So it's kind of like Tim Tebow back in the day when he was back in the CFM on Madden. So we're going to move on to what everybody loves, some rules. Let's get it. All right, guys. So a serious topic of the show, man, it's little rules. You know, every year we got new guys that come in. Every year we have old guys that stay in. And at the end of the day, it still comes down to rules and keeping it respectful for everybody, new and old players alike. So if you take a look over here, at rule number 9, it says mix up your formations. That is not super specific, but it shouldn't have to be. If you understand what I'm saying, is common sense. Mix up your formations. Like, you shouldn't be in bunch all game. You shouldn't be in the ace, shotgun, patriot ace all game. You shouldn't be in I form all game. You shouldn't be in single back bunch, pistol bunch, tight formation, trips, like all game. You shouldn't be there. If for any reason you were going to be in a certain formation and you want to challenge this rule for anything, maybe you're like, okay, I'm in nickel a lot, or maybe you're saying, okay, I'm running nickel because this guy keeps play action passing me. That's why I'm in nickel. Not necessarily the same nickel, but you're in nickel a majority of the game. Okay, I get that. A lot of NFL teams do that. That we have a matchup rule for a reason. So if you got 2 wide receivers, you can be in nickel. But if they're coming out in a heavy formation and you're like, oh, I'm going to line up in nickel, I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. So at the end of the day, it comes down to common sense, man, and respecting the rules, respecting the league, and respecting your opponent. Mix up your formations, all right? You going to come down to it is going to be, hey, we're going to do a scheme. We have a cooldown of 5 plays. We have a play call limit of 5 plays. Madden allowed us to do that, and so we took advantage of it, and it's been good. I mean, you don't have the people running the same play over and over back to back doing a hurry up, which is great. But now we got people trying to just call the same plays, 5 plays out of the same formation, and then rinse, recycle, repeat. That's a little crazy. And I'm exaggerating when I'm saying 5 plays. Obviously, everybody knows nobody's done that, because I would definitely be on somebody's ass about that. But just be respectful, man, to the league, to your opponent, and to the rules. Most importantly, to the rules. It's in the rules. It's in black and white. There's no challenge to it. Just do it. And something that I've been hitting on last cycle as well as this cycle, we do checks to the roster periodically. Fun Guy put out a notification that said that there will be suspensions for anybody with DBs in the sub linebacker position. The rule states there that you are allowed to use the sub linebacker package, i.e. the big nickel, where there is a safety at the linebacker position. But you cannot manually sub in a safety at a linebacker position, nor can you have a safety in your linebacker position on the sub linebacker depth chart positions. So what that means is, number one, number two, you're going to have a linebacker there most likely. Number three, sometimes the computer puts a safety there. All right, cool. What you do, you go in there, you manually take them out and put another one in. If you only have 2 linebackers on your team, what the hell do you think is going to happen? There's not going to be a linebacker to put in that third sub linebacker position. So going forward, like I said, we check rosters. We do that stuff here and there, if not every week, every other week. So if you have a player get injured, go ahead, check some linebacker position. You're looking at your roster before you play the game, most likely anyway. You're doing your weekly prep every week before you play your games. Take the extra 20 seconds, go check the sub linebacker, make sure that nothing happened. It's too easy. It's too easy. And then people are saying, oh yeah, I might have had a sub linebacker in there, but he didn't play any time during the game. Okay, so what? Who's going to want to go back and review a whole game to see if number 42 was in the game at a linebacker position? Nobody. But the fact of the matter is, it's a rule. It's a rule, so be respectful of the rules, follow the rules, end all, be all. That's the end of the day. So let's clean that up, man. It shouldn't be something we have to talk about or notify or even put an announcement out about going forward. Just take care of it. I mean, be respectful of the rules, be respectful of the league, be respectful of yourself. With that, man, that's all I got for the show. I'm gonna get to one of the best parts of the show. We're gonna get on to it. We got a new name for it. It's called That's House. Keep submitting those for us, man. I know I had a lot of submissions for this week, but I went in there and I had to manually put some in. I'd appreciate if everybody just go ahead and add those to the clips section up in the Discord. That makes it easier for me, so I don't have to buffer through and scan through all the Twitch or YouTube and then clip it for you. So I appreciate it. And then all the people who did submit and all the people who didn't, you'll know because your clip is in here. So just next time, for the next week, go ahead and submit those in the clips for me. I appreciate you. Enjoy the show.
There it is! Let's get out of here! Yeah, trip him! Trip him! Thank you! Thank you! You gotta believe, that's all, kids. You can do whatever you set your mind to. If you believe. There it is. Let's get out of here. Yeah, trip him. Trip him. Thank you. Thank you. You gotta believe. That's all, kids. You can do whatever you set your mind to. If you believe.